Yes, Trooper Bessie Randolph from the Oklahoma Highway Patrol has been trying to get here. It's very difficult with all the closures coming on. But Bessie, thank you so much for joining us. Tell me, from the Oklahoma Highway Patrol standpoint, what are you guys focusing on today as the sun comes up?
Well, we're still looking for people that are trapped. Overnight, we found 101 people that were trapped but are alive. And we know that there are still people out there that are trapped. And we've had search and rescue teams all night throughout the entire city. We've sectioned it off and had our strike teams out there. They've checked them once, maybe twice. But because there's such a mass of debris that's everywhere, we want to make sure, just looking in the field behind us, there may be somebody that's covered in mud and we walk right past them. There could be people that were knocked unconscious and were under some debris. We had guys out on foot last night listening for people that may have come to in the middle of the night that had been knocked unconscious and then were crying out for help. So we still have complete faith that we're going to find people alive and well in the debris, out here wandering around. We're going to find them and get them back to where they belong.
Tell me that number again. And were most of these people trapped in storm shelters, or like you say, were they just lying in a field or under rubble?
From what I understand from all of our emergency responders that are here, of course, all that information's still coming in, but from what I understand, the majority of those folks were in storm shelters. And it was, I believe, 101. That was the exact number, 101, that they're telling us.
And you're expecting that number to grow of survivors?
Absolutely. We have the utmost faith that there are still people out there that are trapped, and we're going to find them today.
From your perspective as a law enforcement officer, you've seen this damage, you've seen this destruction. Describe it to me, and I'm not sure if you were here back in 1999, and compare it for me.
I was here in 1999, and it was unreal then. I'd never seen anything like that then, but when I came on scene here yesterday afternoon, one of the first few that were able to get in before all the roads started being shut down, I couldn't believe what I saw. There were walking wounded. There were live wires laying on the ground, debris everywhere, as high as you could see it, still floating in the air. Cars crumpled up like little toys. People wounded, walking around with stuff sticking out of them. It was unbelievable, something like I had never seen before. I felt myself in shock, and I could see the look and the terror and the absolute desperation on people's faces. As we tried to get to an area where we were going to set up a command post, many times I had to stop to render aid to people who were walking wounded, to patch them up and get them to a triage center so that we could get emergency personnel that knew what they were doing to help them. It was unbelievable.
And it still is, even just seeing it firsthand and trying to absorb it all, it still somewhat is a shock. But I'm understanding, too, that when the sun comes up, that you guys are going to give tours, or at least help us kind of put this in perspective.
We do want to do that. We want to be able to get you guys in so that you can show your viewers what kind of devastation we're talking about. We want to do that for a couple of reasons. Number one, we want people to know that when we say take shelter, we don't mean anymore hide in a bathtub. We mean get below ground. The people that got below ground today, or yesterday rather, were the ones that survived. We don't know about the ones that didn't have access to a storm shelter. But guys, we've got to be serious about this. We want you to know just how serious we are when we say take shelter. That means drop what you're doing and take shelter. And then the other part of that is we know that Oklahomans are generous. Our nation is very generous, and we know that folks want to help. And we want them to access like the American Red Cross. That's the folks that you want to give your money to, because they're going to be able to disseminate those funds to the people who desperately need it.
Betsy Randolph from Oklahoma Highway Patrol, thank you so much for joining us. Anything I left out that I did not ask you, I do want to remind people that in order for you guys to do your job, find more of those survivors, you don't need a lot of people coming down here.
We are absolutely asking folks, do not come down here. We don't have room for you, number one. The roads are all still blocked. You can't exit any of the more exits off of I-35. If you come down here and you just want to look around, you're going to be in trouble with us today, because we have emergency responders still looking for people that are trapped, and you don't want that on your conscience. We want you to stay out of the way so that we can help the people that need help.
Now, what about family members looking for family members, or businesses owners trying to get to their business to check on that? What about those folks who legitimately have a reason to be here?
Right. We know that there are folks like that. Of course, there's power that's out. Water service is out. The utilities are all out in this area. So chances are that your business is going to be operating today, if it's anywhere around this area, are very, very low. If you're looking for someone, we're going to direct you to First Baptist Church there at 27th Street and I-35. That's where the majority of people were going last night to reunite with their family members. So we're going to ask you to search there first, and then if you're not able to find someone there, check with the American Red Cross. There is a shelter at 119th and South May. Okay. So those are two places that people can search first before they start calling. Please don't call 911 or star 55 on your mobile device unless it is a true emergency, because as you can see, we do have emergency responders, but they're very well tied up.
Say that again for me, Maggie. I want you, if you can help me there. I don't have my notepad. Can you write this down for us, and perhaps we can use it as a full screen later on too? So the church of First Baptist Church, where is that again?
First Baptist Church at 27th Street and I-35 and Moore. And then the shelter is at 119th and May, and that's in Oklahoma City.
That's the Red Cross shelter.
That's
I do believe
correct.
we have been saying that one too. But First Baptist Church, for people who are looking for family members, don't come looking yourself.
Please.
Go there first and then contact authorities as well, because you guys are going door to door trying to find people still trapped.
Absolutely. That's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to stay out here and do until we get everybody accounted for.
Cool. Thank you, Betsy. Thank you, Trooper.
Thank you.
I appreciate what you do for us. Maggie, as you can see, that was some pertinent information, because there are people who are concerned, looking for loved ones who may still be trapped. And I know I would be coming down here looking for my family if it meant that, particularly my children. But they really need to have the space to do their jobs so they can actually do it and then reunite those families that they possibly can, Maggie. So Trooper Randolph, so excited. I think that number was 101 that they found.
It is, yes.
Just in the last few hours, since yesterday too, obviously, who were alive, who are survivors, who will be able to tell their stories of how they survived the May 20th tornado of 2013.